Shut up and sit down.
Welcome back to Off the Ropes, and here talking to the main man, the style of Zyle from the place of unknown, Kane, supersized Snooker, and I brought with me today the main man of the South, the main man of the great Nolans world, Faded Saint. And today is an extreme day, and I say extreme because we have some extreme rules to talk about. On top of that, we're talking about the future of the WWE as it continues since WrestleMania 31, because it was beautiful since WrestleMania 31 how we have seen a great trend in the World Wrestling Entertainment world, the universe, and the universe itself, the fans, and how are they reacting to the modern stuff in the last 30 days before Extreme Rules. And I'm going to bring on board today my main man once more, the Faded Saint. How you doing today, Paco?
I just got back from Suplex City, and boy, wait, I did that joke last time. Well, I don't have any new material. I'm doing great. How are you doing, Snuka?
I'm doing great, but let me ask you a question then. If that's the case, how is Suplex City? How is Mayor Lesnar today?
Oh, he's not very happy. Apparently, former Mayor Kurt Angle had some choice words for him, and they're looking like they might gear up for a little debate coming up soon as to who the real king of suplexes is.
Oh man, it's a good thing. Then I would like to actually see that because when it comes to me and Pappy Snooker, we like to talk about Suplex City all the time. Because I'm like, Pappy, what are we gonna do? We should go on vacation or something. And I'm thinking maybe Suplex City. He's like, boy, I wouldn't do it just yet because that Mayor Lesnar is a little bit on a rampage. A couple of streets are going a lot worse than what's going on in Baltimore right now. And I'm like, oh no, that can't be possibly true. No way is that true. And he goes, oh, it's true. It's very true. It's true. It's oh so true. Oh boy, I don't know what's going on there. But let me ask you a question then, if that's the case.
What's that?
Suplex City, how did you visit the Tomb of the Unknown Crippler?
I did. I actually saw Michael Cole there, like crumpled up into like a little accordion, like he was. But it's still there. Nobody talks about it, but the crew of
So
the Unknown Crippler is definitely still there.
it is he whose suplex shall not be named is in the Tomb of the Unknown Crippler. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
He whose matches shall not be acknowledged on the WWE network.
oh, well, I gotta say though, I one of these days I'm definitely go there. But other than that, man, well, I gotta tell you, the WWE universe has shown some great strides. Now kids, though, we were talking earlier before we got onto this podcast, me and the Faded Saint here, about the progression of the WWE universe and some of its wrestlers. And we're gonna get on topic with that as the matches unfold from the Extreme Rules that we saw last Sunday. But I have to say, when it comes to what's going on since WrestleMania 31, everything has been going on point for a couple of the good wrestlers that we see today and what we're going forward to. And I know that my analyst, Faded Saint here, has got some choice words on how the World Wrestling Entertainment universe is going today.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And for today, obviously Extreme Rules is what happened over this past weekend. And of course, we record this podcast on a Thursday, so we got through Raw and we actually got a little bonus. Instead of giving us main event, they gave us the King of the Ring tournament coming back this year, which I'm very excited about. That was always one of my favorite events. I really think it should be its own pay-per-view at this point. And we're going to also have some predictions and some minor commentary at the end there. So now we're just going to go straight in. Now, for those of you who didn't know, Daniel Bryant was injured and did not show. So there was actually no IC title belt match, much to our chagrin. But that didn't mean that Bad News Barrett got the night off. That just meant we just shuffled everything around. And we actually got a pretty good kickoff match in Bad News Barrett versus the man that Gravity forgot, which I'm going to go on record right now as to say Neville is not the man that Gravity forgot. He's not, Kane. You know what he actually is? He's the man that Gravity owes money to, and Gravity is dodging him. dodging him. He is
That is amazing. I'm gonna quote that on you. I'm gonna put that somewhere on my wall so that way Pappy Snooker can walk by and say, "Oh, that's a funny thing." Because I gotta tell you, right now, when it comes to how everything goes, that man is fantastic. I've been watching him since NXT, and I've been watching him go into the WWE universe the way he is, and he is amazing with that red arrow.
he is absolutely amazing. I would like to see them book him a little stronger because he's been having great matches, but he lost one to Dolph Ziggler, he lost one to Sheamus in the build up to this. And so this was actually a surprise that he was gonna be on the show, but it's a surprise I'll take, which this match was great. It was a great, you know, built up B&B as being a monster. He said he was going to bring a bag of bull hammers for Neville, and he did bring a bag of bull hammers. Unfortunately, he missed every single one of those bull hammers in that bag.
Hmm.
A lot of beatdown, but Neville really just doing his flipping, doing his jumping, going around, and that red arrow. It is amazing to me that
You know what?
he.
You know what? I gotta say something. Face ain't now. When it comes to how it goes, you know what I do like about that red arrow, is that he has made it so technique savvy, I should say, that when it comes to if I was to watch a recording of him doing the red arrow, and I watched 15 separate recordings, I couldn't tell you which one's different. He is
No,
that good.
yeah, they're pretty much the same move, which is phenomenal. I mean, I remember back in the day when just seeing a 450 splash was like the thing. Seeing Kidman doing the shooting star press was the thing. Seeing Brock Lesnar land on his head after a shooting star press was funny. Wasn't necessarily the thing, but um, that was. I mean, it was a great way to start off the pay per view. Neville went over on B&B. Poor B&B. Poor B&B.
Well, you know what? I have to say, we'll get back to that with King of the Ring because that was definitely a nice prerequisite. But I have
hmm
to say, we got to get on to the show, baby. Extreme Rules was a very good pay per view to start off after WrestleMania 31 with a few minor touches. We'll get into that right now. Give us that first beautiful match that we had to deal with on Extreme Rules.
Well, the first match was Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper in the Chicago Street Fight. I don't understand the whole Chicago street fight. It's a street fight. There's no rules difference when you go from one city to another. A Chicago street fight is a Birmingham street fight, is a New Orleans street fight. It doesn't matter. I would love to see like the Michigan street fight somewhere like in the middle of Ohio or something like that. But this was this was a good match to start off with, and unfortunately, it's a match we're gonna end up getting back to, but pretty much starts off with your brawlers. And Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper are great wrestlers who are just underutilized, and I believe they could have had a better match than they did. But brawling out in the crowd, Dean hitting all of his spots, and then brawling into the back. And eventually leading to the blow off, which was them jumping into a car and driving off. And that's kind of where I have the issue here. Um,
Same here. I mean, let's look at this real quick. I mean, how can you have a street fight and only keep it inside the pay-per-view arena? I mean, granted, I was so excited now, as Faded saying. I was super duper excited when I saw them get into the SUV and driving off. I'm like, oh crap, they bolted. Quick, get some camera crew, follow them.
but the thing about it
He
was
died.
the thing about it was is that they actually cut to trips like in a segment. Do you remember this? Is
Yeah, with Kane.
right, right. And he's like, get a camera on them. And that whole thing was, going back to the Attitude Era, back in the hardcore days. It was you would see Al Snow and like the Boss Man like brawl their way from the arena to a bar across the street, or like Al Snow and Bob Holly who wrestled all the way out to the Mississippi um, for a hardcore match, and it was a harken back to that, but we just didn't get any payoff because they could have done so many fun things like having them brawl at locations, and they could have stretched that out a bit more, but they just ended up driving off, and we didn't hear from them again until later, and we'll get back to them later because we know what the next matchup was. It was Sheamus versus Dolph in the Kiss Me Arse match.
Well, let me bring you something, laddie. Today I brought my Irish comments just to talk about the arse, and I had to say it was a farce arse match, and it was pretty shitty.
Oh, we're gonna get so sued for that.
It's a good thing we're not paid. We're not a paid network here. I can promise that.
No kidding, no kidding. Uh, the match was short. It was good for what it was. I hate the concept. I really hate the concept of the match. I never liked the kiss my ass stuff when Vince McMahon did it. I didn't like the concept of the finish of the. I like the finish of the match. I liked Dolph going over, but the problem was is that we both knew what was going to happen after. We knew Sheamus wasn't going. You could see it coming a mile away. It was a low blow, knocked him out with a. And I'll give him this much: that bro kick that he kicked Dolph with looked like Dolph's head almost came off.
Yes, and I gotta take a little attention to the kids. Now, kids, now we don't condone butt kissing around here, especially since we have a extremely milky white buttocks that we were looking at that day. But I have to say though, when it comes to what's going on, we were just talking about how the highs and lows of how the WWE universe is going about getting everything. So I talked to my Pappy Snooker, and I said, Pappy, what do you think of that Sheamus Dolph Ziggler match? And he goes, boy, I gotta tell you, when it comes to the situation with Sheamus and the fact that we were looking at 3 months of him saying, we're coming back, he's coming back, and he comes back only to have a farce arse match, that's just complete crap for a character development setup, especially when you got something really good like Dolph Ziggler playing around. And I'm like, Pappy, you correct. And I gotta tell you, Faded Saint, I feel the same way. Why in God's green earth are we talking about a Kiss My Arse match and seeing great core development from Sheamus before he left with his accident to coming back to this little character snafu that looks like he's just trying to do some big David and Goliath thing that's just gonna big show him into the bottom.
Well, the problem is that they're undercutting his character because they've built him up. I like the build up. I like the new attitude. He switched to heel, which needed to happen. He needed to be a heel because we just had one too many baby faces, and he's just too big of a dude and too strong of a dude to do that for very long.
We just got to watch out now because we looked at history when it comes to Irishmen and heels. You know, we don't want to turn into another three-man band now.
Oh, poor Drew McIntyre. He's in TNA now, doing very well for
Well,
himself.
that we could leave him right where Kurt Angle is.
Well, he's also holds 3 world championships across promotions in Europe. Dude is legit. I don't know how he got away from the WWE, but that's their deal. But yeah, overall, decent match.
Well,
Bad
when you're
bad
light,
ending.
I got a real quick on that one. I got a comment for that one. When your spotlight gets overshadowed by Hornswoggle,
Yep, yep. Okay, well, like I said, uh, decent match, bad ending. Didn't care for it. They should have had more time, and they need to quit with the gimmicky stuff with Sheamus, and they just need to make him a monster that needs to be toppled. And well, that brings us into what we were talking about. What we were talking about previously in our own little private conversations. Because this next match, this was the pre-show match, and because of the whole Daniel Bryan thing, it got kicked up to the card. You know which match I'm talking about?
oh, do I know? Because it's New Day.
Sucks.
I gotta tell you. Well, I can tell you this much: a few things from the eclectic 3-time IWA Tag Team Champion. When it comes to that tag team match, I really hope that the WWE Universe realizes the bar that they had for that match because it was very good, and I hope that they actually keep them in the pay-per-views as opposed to the kickoff. I want the Intercontinental Belt to be in the kickoffs now because that's how good that tag team match was.
Oh yeah, and Cesaro and Kid, who had been heels up until this point, they definitely brought it. They brought it full force, and it really is one of those things where it was they obviously knew that they were being handed an opportunity to be on the show, and they took it. They were given enough time to give a great match. The New Day has really done a great job of warping itself into some viable heels because they were just like this sugary sweet. And I mentioned it last time that they were supposed to be the new Nation of Domination the way they were doing it, and then all of a sudden it's New Day, and the fans just went nope. Nope, 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 nope,
Well,
nope.
I gotta say, when it comes to how they're doing it, I was talking to my once again my favorite sideshow person, McCookle, of the world of the unknown world, which is Pappy Snooker. I
Mhm.
gotta say, Pappy, what do you think of New Day? And he's like, who's New Day? And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know who New Day is? And he goes, I don't know no New Day. And I'm like, Pappy, let me show you. And I showed him New Day, and he goes, what are you talking about? That's Free Birthday Negro. And I'm like, Pappy, you can't talk like that. The internet will be mad. And he goes, I don't care. I'm 50,000 years old. I can do what I want. And I'm like, you know what? Fine. He's doing what he got to do there. I know that when it comes to New Day, their heel work is amazing. I cannot wait to see how Coffee, Big E, and my main man over there from New Day taking care of business when it comes to how it can get out.
For
Now, I know Big E. I love him since day one when he was with Dolph Ziggler. And I got to say, him doing that means it's going to be a nice ride into payback.
Well, yeah, it is going to be a nice ride into payback, but we do need to address one other thing who was the real star of this tag team match. And don't get me wrong, New Day was great. Tyson Kidd is also great with the flying stuff, but did you see just the shows of strength that Cesaro was doing? He just like caught Big E in the middle of a
Oh,
jump and just
oh
like it was
yeah.
nothing and toss him, and then catches
March it in,
Kofi
brother. March it in. It was
and
very good.
catches Kofi just like mid cross body and then just throws him around like it's nothing. Cesaro is on the rise. Homeboy is going if he and Kid can keep this thing going, eventually he's going to turn this tag team into a serious singles run, which he's been needing. He has absolutely been needing, but New Day, they took the titles through some screwheadery, thanks to Professor, or I should say Doctor, he's a PhD, Doctor Xavier Woods. They take the titles, and now we've got Kid Cesaro in the chase now, which is right where I think we need to be with the tag team titles.
Very much, and if anything, we gotta look at the results later down the week here. But when it comes to how everything goes down, I'm really hoping there's going to be a good match for the rematch in SmackDown. But going forward, though, it's interesting how they had that little vignette at the end with New Day trying to talk about the new tag team, and all of a sudden, come out of nowhere,
Dean
we
Ambrose
have
and Luke Harper coming back, which was kind of like the because we at that point you knew you were going to miss it. Now don't get me wrong, they brawled back to the ring. They did the little chair spots and the dueling chair thing. Dean Ambrose takes the match cleanly for like the first time in like 6 months. He's won something on a pay-per-view. Hooray for him! But I just think that this match was lacking. That we really needed to kind of see them brawling around and see where they needed to go, where they went with all of that. I don't know if time constraints prevented them from doing it. I don't know what the thing was. Decent match, neat concept if they had capitalized on it, but that's really about all you can say for the second half of the Harper Ambrose match. I mean, do you have anything to add to that?
just the chair orgasm was probably the funniest thing I've seen in a while.
Yeah, yeah.
That's about it.
And we
Sprays
move,
and sprays of chairs.
and well, we move from there on to the chain match.
America, I think I need to address you one more time. Now, as far as it goes, I still have my reserves about how WrestleMania 31 entrances go, and I know Rusev did a great job at WrestleMania, and I especially loved how he came in. But John Cena, my man, you are a great wrestler and a fantastic person. But God damn it, the whole I can never change, that's got to stop. Because hell or high water, someone's going to get fed up with you. And if the main fans that really love you, aka the kiddies, if they get fed up with you, you're done, my sir. So can we at least get some change out of you in the next year coming? Because God damn it, I don't know what to do anymore.
Nope, nope, it's not going to change. But that's not my problem with the match, surprisingly enough.
Well, we can
Here's
get
my
to the
problem.
match. We can get to the match, but I just had to address John Cena in general.
This was. mm, you can't beat Superman. What can you say about it? You can't beat Superman. Ah. I mean, this was not as good as the WrestleMania match. They I, they might as well have just thrown the stipulation out because this is PG WWE. And so they're not going to be able to use the chain to like wrap it around their fist and break somebody open because nobody's supposed to bleed intentionally. They weren't whipping each other with it. They didn't to wrap something around the neck and throw them over. The chain was literally there for them to play an extended 15 to 20-minute game of tug of war while wrestling. And I thought this was going to be it. I was hoping this was going to be it, but I mean, this match did no favors for Rusev because this is twice in a row that the unbeatable Russian has been beaten cleanly by Cena. And I was hoping that was going to be it, but nope, it wasn't because we're going to get it next. We're going to get it next month on Payback. Hooray, hooray, I guess. Um, at least, and of course, poor Rusev is about to lose his manager too because they're teasing that he's going to lose, that he and Lana are about to separate off, which is unfortunate because he really needs Lana to stay there.
Well, we could talk about predictions in the forum
Right.
of our end show. What's going to happen with them?
Mhm.
But I have to say though, it was pretty funny when they were that the characters used the WWE universe that day when they were like, "We want to see Lana," and she comes up and then he throws her out. That was definitely not staged because if the WWE universe didn't ask for Lana, they would have never been on.
I
So
think I think they had that in the back of their mind that they were going to do that. I think it was kind of one of those things where they said, "All right, if this happens, this is what we will do." I think they had planned for the just in case because there's no reason to throw her out otherwise. Um, but I mean, do you have any other thoughts on the chain match? It was a match.
I have to say, that wasn't the match of all matches that night. I can tell you this much. And I have to say, as far as Extreme Rules goes, that so far, I don't think any match particularly was extreme enough until the big match, which we'll talk about a little later. Because right now, when it comes to the next thing that happened, the Bella Twins match, that was another thing we could just walk right past.
I can say completely and totally with entire faith that it was a thing that happened. Uh, Brie Bella over Naomi with the assist for, no, with the assist from, no, I'm sorry, Nikki Bella over Naomi with the assist from Brie's like Daniel Bryant kick. It was a heel versus a heel match. Eh. I thought they were giving Divas a chance, man. They weren't. They aren't.
I don't know. I mean, right now, my main girl that's not even wrestling right now, which is Natty Hart, I think they need to bring her back into the mix while Paige is recuperating, whatever you want to call that now. But I gotta say, as the 6-time IWA champion, I can tell you this much: when it comes to championship matches and championship potential, I think Natty Hart has a chance. And if they don't put her in the lineup again, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Because right now, this I'm amazing girl of Naomi ain't doing so well. She needs to go back to Jay and Jimmy and just stay in the background as they come out.
Dude, I hate that whole what is it that she's doing? That I came in at the same time as AJ, and everyone's all well, AJ was a trendsetter. I mean, she doesn't do Total
She was a
Divas.
whore. She was a whore. That was simple as that. She went to boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend as the story arc, and she went her way through it. And you know what? I have noticed the trend that if you're a diva champion, you have to be in a relationship with somebody in order for you to even get that title recognition, and you have to be a good recognition too, not a nuso. So who knows what's going on here? But I can tell you this much: if they don't do something different for Payback, I don't know what to tell you because right now I might as well just call that the Bella belt, not even the Diva belt.
Well, we've already spent way more time than we either of us wanted to discuss this Divas match.
You damn right because we're about to get into the best match the whole night, and when that's even saying it after the cage match. But the Big Show versus Reigns match was where it was at.
Surprisingly so. I did not expect a lot from this match. But I think they finally figured out what they need to do to get the fans back on Roman Reigns' side. They want Roman Reigns to earn it. That was their whole issue, with the Rumble to WrestleMania. And wow, did they book Show like the way they should have booked Sheamus earlier? Was that just like this unstoppable force? And having Reigns just have to power his way out of it. That was a great match, and I'm not usually a last man standing match kind of a guy, but it was definitely intriguing. Reigns looked like $1,000,000. He really did.
Oh yeah, I know, and you know what? I gotta say something. When it comes to how it's been going, I was scratching my head at why people just didn't like Roman Reigns going into Royal Rumble last in 2015 before WrestleMania 31, and I realized he's been gone for a while. And Dean was doing really good, and and Rollins was doing great. Trying to get the hype, and because Roman Reigns had that injury, so he couldn't even participate in the pay per view before
Hmm.
Royal Rumble. So he lost the limelight, and he comes out of nowhere and he wins the match, and they're like, "Mother, why is he even in this right now?" And I gotta tell you this much: if he never had that injury, I think we would have had a different look at Roman Reigns going into WrestleMania 31.
Oh, I
But
agree.
and in this case, right now, when it comes to how he did for the Big Show, Rollins has got to watch out now. And until they bring back Brock Lesnar, with whatever he wants to do in this Fairyland MMA thing he's trying to finish up, I gotta tell you this much: if Reigns delivers, he's gonna show a huge difference in Payback.
I'll just point out here, and then we'll move on to the next segment. But did you notice that Dean Ambrose was on the rise and on the rise and on the rise right up until Reigns came back, and then mid card hell for Ambrose.
Well, they had to do something while he was on the surgery.
Right, but I think the fans are a lot more into Ambrose than they are Reigns, and I think they're trying to make Reigns into Cena 2.0.
I don't know. I mean, after that match, the difference between him and Cena is he doesn't give a damn about how he acts to fans. He works hard. He goes through because that last man standing match is a lot different than how Cena does last man standing match.
Yeah, true, true. Well, moving on, we're gonna real quick touch on the whole Bo Dallas Ryback thing. It
And
happened.
that's all we had. That's it.
Yep,
We're going on. Move onward.
we're all adults here. We don't have to pretend it wasn't something that
We
we weren't.
believe that was crap. So let's move onward.
And that's where we get to the main event. And
Oh,
that was Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton in a steel cage with Kane as the gatekeeper. The RKO is banned. Now
allegedly.
here's now here's my little rant. This is my problem with this match. We all know how it ended with the whole Seth Rollins using the RKO to knock out Randy Orton, and then playing up the whole "I didn't say me, but you didn't say not you either, you dumbass." If you're gonna play him up like this, "I'm smarter than you" kind of person, then these are the little details that you need to sit there and address. Because when he made the match, he said the RKO is banned, not "you can't use the RKO." Just the RKO is banned, which means everyone. That's a complete drop on the creative end. The match itself, I enjoyed the match. I liked the match. It got a little crowded towards the end, but it was a really great cage match. And if Show and Reigns had not been on there, it would have been the match of the night, I think.
I'll give you that. But you know what? I'm gonna have to say it right now. I didn't see a match between Orton and Rollins. All right, I was talking to Pappy Snooker one more time because Pappy Snooker, despite all his 50,000 year age of wisdom, he definitely does bring some good points sometimes. And I gotta say, when I was talking to Pappy, I was like, Pappy, what'd you think of the Orton and Rollins match? And he goes, I didn't see no match. What are you talking about? I mean, what are you talking about, Pappy? I know you saw it. And he goes, no, I didn't see no match between them. I saw Kane character development. That's what I saw. And you know what? I just realized that may be the case because to me, Orton versus Rollins was nothing compared to the character development that they're doing with Kane.
It does seem like they could have saved that for Raw, doesn't it, though?
Nope. Nope. I think it was perfect. I think the gatekeeper, him struggling to be corporate Kane, monster Kane, and we might just see the mask come back, and that's what I was really excited about more than anything. Because let's face it, we knew Rollins wasn't going to lose. We knew he was going to do some cheap stuff, and he did, and he did with his own illegal action. He did with the own RKO thing. So going forward, I think that no matter what happened, clearly it is very very clear that whatever is happening now is the crumbling inside the authority with corporate gain.
Absolutely, absolutely. What would you rate this pay-per-view as a whole?
I threw some deep thought into it. I sat in a corner one day and I was looking at the wall and I was just trying to see a reflection of some aura, of some power, just to give me an answer. And you know what? It came to me, 7.5.
7.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go 7.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll go 7. I think it was a solid. I think it was a solid B show.
As a 12-time IWA champion, I could tell you this, 7.5.
Okay. Well, with that
It would.
said,
I have to say though, one more thing. I would have to say it would definitely would have been an 8.5 if we were following that Chicago street fight.
yeah. That what might have been that might have been better. Once again, get some divas on there and actually take it seriously. Don't give us freaking pointless stipulations like the chain match or the kiss my arse match. But with that said, well, we've got it rated. We're gonna go on break. I've probably got something queued up right now that I'll be playing for all of y'all, and we'll see you on the other side of the break.
See you soon, kiddies.
Off the Ropes would like to take this opportunity to thank bensound.com for our opening and closing theme. If you're looking for something that's Creative Commons, check out bensound.com. And right now we have a nice little WWE mashup. Dean Ambrose versus Bad News Barrett in Rebel Retaliation.
God save all.
Welcome back. We're here once again. I'm the Faded Saint. This is Kane, the super what? What are we this week?
Size
Super
Snooker.
Snuka. And this week we are brought to you by Parts Unknown and Suplex City. They can't decide. They keep trying to. Guys, you do have to decide which week we're gonna do. You two, you got to quit fighting. I can't do this with my sponsors today. Anyway, so we're back, and coming up next is we're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about the King of the Ring also. Now, let's just jump right into it. Raw was a really forgettable show. It really
You don't
was.
even know. Oh, the only thing I have to say is that when it comes to that whole Raw thing, the only thing I cared about is what's going to go with Payback. So I'm glad that we have addressed that Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Rollins, Payback is the only thing that really needed to talk about. But we can go further because let's face it, there was a lot of prereqs for King of the Ring that was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot. The pre matches for the King of the Ring. I think we were watching at the same time. I missed the first 30 minutes because I had a power outage. But I think we were talking around the same time about what was going on. And yeah, those of you remember, I've ranted about Hulu Plus. You made the comment. It's like, man, with all this wrestling, what's going to happen with the Hulu Plus? It's like, I don't know. I think they might end up cutting it all out because there's way too much wrestling to show on there.
And I'm worried about what they're going to do because the Rollins the tag team match that happened at the end of the night was, I mean, the match that happened at the end of the night was definitely not necessary at all. But I could tell you this much: the King of the Ring preset matches, I really hope that Hulu stepped up. I didn't check in myself, but I know that for a fact that if they didn't use those, it would be very confusing as hell as what King of the Ring was the entire time.
Also, we were setting up more animosity between Seth Rollins and Kane. You know, for somebody who's supposed to be the architect, his character has devolved since WrestleMania, hasn't he, a bit? He's
You
just
talking about Rollins now?
yeah, I'm talking about Rollins. I mean, he's like he's all of this like, I'm the best, and just why in the world would anyone of any intelligence start insulting your supporting cast? It doesn't make any good sense. I know they're trying to play him up to be like this arrogant guy, but it doesn't work for me. Yeah, I just look at him and I just think that's pretty stupid. I mean, and of course, it ended with with him pissing Kane off. The WWE Universe getting to choose between Orton and Reigns, and then him pissing Kane off some more, and him adding Orton and Reigns as an option. And of course, the moment that came up, it was just like, well, we know where this is going.
I have to say, the only thing I do like about the Authority right now is they're definitely pushing away with Triple H and Stephanie, and they are focusing on Kane being the anti-pro Authority kind of situation going on. So I do like that a little bit. But I got to tell you this much. It's got to end quick, because if we keep on this little feud here, it's not going to look as exciting when you got Rollins crying like a little girl, because I don't want a champion that cries like a little girl. I'd rather have a champion we don't see for 4 months come in, wreak havoc like the mayor of Suplex City has done, and then just come back later to destroy and wreak more havoc.
I can take having a chicken shit champion as long as he's a heel. My problem with it is that it's completely contradictory to the character that they've built up, and that's the huge problem there. We got a few other things as well. We got the introduction of what is probably going to be Ryback versus Bray Wyatt. And there's some interesting theories out there, because if you notice, all of this coincided to Bo Dallas all of a sudden raining on the Ryback parade. You do know that Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt, they're really brothers. So I'm wondering if Bo, who's floundering, isn't gonna become Wyatt Clan 2.0. Can you believe that?
I could believe anything they want now, but I can tell you this much: if Bo Dallas goes onward and with this Bo leave thing, he's going to be left in the dust compared to his brother's shining moments he's doing with Bray Wyatt. Now, the only thing I have to say about Bray Wyatt now is we did see who they finally was talking about this whole time, and it's Ryback.
I know.
Out of all people, Ryback. I thought, at least this is what I thought. And I was talking to Pappy Snooker. You know how I am with Pappy. You know how it is, Faded saying when you want to talk to your Pappy. And I can say, Pappy Snooker and I were thinking it was going to be Mick Foley that he was addressing, because nobody more fearful in the 90s than Mankind.
Oh, Mick can't wrestle anymore. He's too banged up. Yeah, if Mick could have wrestled, we would have gotten an absolutely awesome program from him and Dean Ambrose back in NXT. Trust me, that from everything I've heard, they had this whole thing where Dean walked up to Mick at the Hall of Fame ceremony and accused him of ruining a generation and having a generation of people jump into thumbtacks and tables. It was so awesome. And then that's when they found out Mick could never wrestle again, and it kind of got dropped. So I kind of knew it wasn't Mick. I'm happy it's Ryback, because I think the two of them can have a too big and physical match. I also want to take this time to kind of mourn the career the once promising career that was Heath Slater. I mean, John Cena Open Challenge, big fan, but damn, what has Rusev got against Heath Slater?
What has everybody got against Heath Slater? Because if we go back a Raw before and we go to the prison bitch moment of RKOs that was happening before Extreme Rules, the funniest thing I have to say from that vignette is it looked like a prison shanking that was going to happen when Eric Rowan's left left Heath Slater there to get RKO'd out of nowhere into a table. So we all know that, once again, I'm going to revisit this because we know that when it comes to heels and how they address them with foreign people, well, look at the three-man band that used to exist. Look at the people that were part of that. And look how the fact that it got overcasted by a midget, by a hornswoggle. That's how you know your career is not going to do so well.
Yep. The only other thing of note besides the whole the whole King of the Ring challenge was there really wasn't much of anything now that I'm thinking. Oh, no. They reintroduced Damien Sandow talking. I hope they do well. I'm a big fan of Damien Sandow. I really am. I can't say too much. He was making fun of the Axeman, Curtis Axel, who's another guy, which is just beyond me how they cannot use him in a decent anything. Real fast, let's touch on the King of the Ring matches. They were 4 really good, really well-paced matches. The first one was Dolph Ziggler versus Wade Barrett. B&B goes over because of Sheamus distracting and taunting Dolph Ziggler about the previous night Kiss Me Arse match.
Yeah, well, we all knew that wasn't going to go any further than that anyway. So we knew that we were going to see B&B come into King of the Ring because of that.
The surprise of the night, I think, was R-Truth going over Stardust. I mean, really.
All right.
I mean,
you know,
who
I
saw
gotta
that?
say, I kind of did. Only because, you know what? I, too, have an issue with spiders. And I think that when it comes to how everything goes, I would have wanted a king that could have took care of that business.
Does it seem like that a lot of their characters are trending towards the comedy side? Just as a little sidetrack here. I mean, you have R-Truth, you have Heath Slater, you have Curtis Axel, you have Fandango, and Adam Rose with his menagerie of hipster wanganots. A lot of comedy acts going on there. But anyway, I digress. Dean Ambrose versus Sheamus, which was really just a vehicle to further Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler, because Dolph came out and cost Dean Ambrose the match, which there should be some retribution about probably tonight on SmackDown. I don't know that it will actually happen, but Dean definitely needs to get some revenge on Dolph for that BS. And then Neville versus Luke Harper, and Neville with a really nice showing. Luke Harper really just they need to do more with Luke. He can do so much. He is so versatile. And he's got them Bruiser Brody crazy eyes. He really does.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does. But I have to say, though, I want to know what they're going to do with Dean. That's the real thing I want to know. Is Dean going to get all up in Sheamus and Ziggler's thing because of the fact that Ziggler DQ'd him? So I'm not sure.
I think Dean just needs to grab that freaking Singapore cane and just go to town on both of them. We can be done with the angle there. Dean Ambrose wins. Done.
Yeah, triple threat Dean Ambrose right up in that, and then make one of those guys, and then make them fight for the IC belt against Daniel Bryan.
As far as Raw goes, I'd give it a 5. It was a middle. It was a thumbs in the middle match. Show.
Minus the King of the Ring, I have to say I'm a little on the 3 side on that match on Raw.
I mean, the King of the Ring was great, and the wrestling was, but story wise, it was, Like with the King of the Ring stuff, they were great matches, but ultimately that was leading to what we're talking about next, which was the next night in place of main event. They did an hour-long King of the Ring special where they did the semifinals and the finals. Now, quick aside, I think they dropped the ball here, and here's why. Because I do believe in my heart of hearts that the King of the Ring should be a tournament done all in the same night. All the semifinals, all of the preliminaries, semifinals, finals. Everyone wrestles straight through. You can make it a good 2 or 3 hour. Hell, that could have been Raw. Just do a King of the Ring Raw. You got your 3 hours right there. But that's not what they did. So we did the King of the Ring stuff, and we were given what were the matches? It was Sheamus and Neville, and it was B&B and R-Truth. And let's call it how we see it. None of us really thought that R-Truth was going to make it to the finals, and so by default, no one really thought Sheamus was going to win his match. And to point, His match was just, yet again, just moving forward with Dolph Ziggler. Uh, Dolph gets the distraction. Neville gets the red arrow and goes to the finals.
Let's just
Decent
step.
match.
Let's just step back just a real quick right now.
Okay.
Faded Sane. But you know how Dolph Ziggler lost because Sheamus distracted him with that little kiss me arse joke.
Mm-hmm.
But let's face it, that was not really a very good way to do it for Dolph Ziggler to do it to Sheamus because nobody cared about him winning in that way. So I don't know what went on there, but they should have just used Dolph Ziggler a little bit more educationally. Maybe just come in and actually do a sneakfully DQ where the ref didn't see it, so that way he can get really pissed at him.
It was poor planning on their part because you're absolutely right. It doesn't work in reverse. It doesn't work in reverse. I mean, don't get me wrong. The brawl they had after was awesome. He cut Sheamus open. He cut
That was
open
a really good one too. He got him real good.
Oh yeah. And over on the other side, hey, I'm a fan of Crazy Truth. I like Crazy Truth, and Truth is a great wrestler. I'm not going to go as far as to say he's underutilized, but I think he's very fine in what they put him in. But nobody seriously thought he was going to win that match, and sure enough, B&B said he was bringing a bag of bull hammers, and this time he delivered, and he brought that bag of bull hammers right across R-Truth's face, which
Long live King B&B.
well, and it brought us back to where we started way back at the beginning of the show. It was Neville versus B&B, and I could see that match for a while. I could do with a few more chapters in Neville versus B&B because they have a very good chemistry. It's very nice, B&B obviously the much bigger, stronger dude. Neville faster. This time Neville just got caught with that bullhammer. He zigged when he should have zagged, and he zagged right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he zagged right. That was a brutal looking one, and King B&B. Nice consolation prize for the guy who they really set up to lose at WrestleMania and didn't get his IC title belt shot against Daniel Bryan.
Well, I gotta tell you this much, kiddies. I while you were doing this, I took a quick review of Hulu, and I saw that they actually did all the matches for the WWE. They actually got all the King of the Ring. They got John Cena in. I don't know what happens, but I might have to talk to Jackie about doing something. Hold on 1 second now, Jackie. Got to give me more results. Don't bring the Papa Snook of you. You know it. You know how it is, Jackie. I gotta talk to her like that.
Well, I was wondering because I haven't heard from her all show. I was hey, she sounds like she had everything together, but no.
Nope, she was almost on point. All of a sudden, that happened.
Unfortunate, but I mean, so that was pretty much the week in wrestling, and King of the Ring was great. My little gripes aside, the pay-per-view was a solid B. Raw happened. With the exception of the King of the Ring stuff they did on Raw, there was almost. I'm sorry. I'm almost sorry I watched it. I could have gone to sleep. I could have been playing Elder Scrolls Online. I could have been doing any number of things besides watching whatever that was.
I was just glad that King of the Ring is on the WWE Network. So, if I couldn't catch it, I could have just rewatched it, and that's pretty much what happened there. I got to rewatch King of the Ring without progression there. But Raw, I could have dealt with without it. You're right.
So, and that brings us to where we are now, and some predictions for the coming month because we do the podcasts after every pay-per-view. So this is what we know for sure is going to happen. We know that we're going to have Rollins, Reigns, Orton. We know we're going to have Ryback, Wyatt. We know we're going to have Cena, Rusev 3, and I can sum up my feelings on that pretty quickly. You can't beat Superman.
Nope. But it's gonna be interesting. I quit. I'll tell you that.
I'll guarantee you. Lana throws in the towel, which causes Rusev to kick her to the curb. That's what I'm predicting right here and right now.
That's a good prediction. That is a really good prediction.
Although I will say, and trust me, if that happens, I'm not going to be happy because they've pretty much built up Rusev just to feed to John Cena. 3 losses in a row against John Cena in three different matches. That doesn't help him, and that just kills his heat. I will, however, if if they have to lose Rusev, if they have to job Rusev out to Cena because of the interactions that they've had, if they have him like they put like Cena gets Rusev in the STFU, and you know he's sitting there. Lana doesn't throw in the towel. Lana says, "Nope, you said I was too. You said that I showed mercy before. I won't do it this time," and lets Rusev pass out. That, although I still won't be happy about it because you're still screwing over, at least would give a decent story going out of it. Because I can't see a fourth Cena
Please
match.
don't, though. WWE Universe, please don't do that.
I mean,
Uh,
it's like they take a match and they drill it into the ground. I mean, if there's that and like if I never see Cena Orton again, I will be happy because I don't ever want to see that. But oh yes, we also know New Day, Kid Cesaro. That's what's burning. I don't know if we're going to have a pay-per-view match, but hopefully they break loose from the formula of, you know, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. I would like to see this stretched out through SummerSlam and having the blow off there with Kid Cesaro getting the titles back. Um, as far as New Day goes,
New Day.
New Day, I would
Let me
love.
let me just address that as the 24-time IWA champion here. When it comes to that, I gotta say, I hope they really put up the volume on the heel story they're trying to put now, because I can tell you this much: when it comes to any type of matches, there, New Day now would need to be the reason why we hate them. They gotta get full heel. They gotta go whole ham. They can't try to say what did we do wrong. They just gotta acknowledge that we hate them and that the reason why we hate them, and they're gonna be the reason why we need to hate them now.
See, I like the clueless heel. I like the clueless heel. That's just like, what are we doing? We got the titles. What? We've done everything. We obviously don't suck. We've got these, but even though they're like feigning ignorance, they're still just rotten to the core. Which is why I'm digging what Xavier Woods is doing with that whole. What did he do? He hit under. He hit underneath the ring and grabbed one of their legs, and then he for the singles match they did on Raw, he just basically held on. So definitely, it's a shame because Xavier Woods is a great wrestler, but I'm definitely digging him in kind of the managerial. I'm hoping we're gonna get to see him in action soon.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but I got to tell you this much. I just want to address something real quick, saying a prediction of caution, I should say, more than anything, and that is WWE Network. We love Neville. We love him so much that we want him to see him go beyond where he's at now. We want to see him to get out jobbed and into the world. We don't want him to accidentally like Adam Rose and a couple other degenerates that
Oh dear God.
are in there now. But I have to say this real quick though. As much as we love his anti-gravity moves, really watch out with that because we don't want to have him vanilla out on us. I love the new spins. I love the red arrow, but you got to give him some crazier or more exotic stuff. We got to see him push into real moves. We got to see him not always high flying because as much as he is exciting now, he will vanilla us out if he does keep going what he's doing. He will John Cena 2.0 us.
Don't have 5 moves of doom. Just don't have 5 moves of doom. No matter how good the moves are. No matter how. I mean, everyone has the 5 moves of doom. I mean, even Bret Hart had 5 moves of doom. He was the original of 5 moves. But back in that context, that was the 5 moves. The 5 moves of doom were the lead up to the end of the match. It wasn't like you only know 5 moves like it is with John Cena.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to remember what that was. Maybe that's something for later on. But we also have like I was saying, Bray Wyatt, Ryback. Now Wyatt is coming off of a pretty bit severely sprained ankle. That's why we haven't seen him this month, and he's just been relegated. That's why, I kind of feel like the match with The Undertaker he had back at WrestleMania could have probably been more because he sprained it that day. It was pretty bad. They had to roll him back to the back on a stretcher. He kept it in a cast until right before he walked out. Still decent match for working for working the Undertaker and for working working on a bum leg. But now he's back. He really needs an entourage. He really needs people to play
The
off
Wyatt
of.
family?
Yes, he does. He is at his best when he has henchmen. He really is. And
I don't know. I mean, I do like how he's trying to go after the whole face of fear thing, but I have to say, when it comes to how it goes, let's face it, Bray Wyatt has made a huge impact ever since he got rid of that ridiculous NXT character, which we all know as Husky Harris. So in this case, the progression that he is in now is actually going to work for me, even without a henchman or not. The only thing we need to do, though, is we need to utilize him as the face of fear. We need to utilize him as someone that you do not mess with. And right now, that's a 50-50 with me. Every time he's matched, the henchman side is the only reason why he won. And a lot of times when he's on his own, doesn't do so well. So we need to either find a way to make him fearful enough to fight off or bring him back.
well, it's weird because you're right. Since he's gone out on his own, he's lost every feud he's been in. Except for Chris Jericho. He won out that feud. But I mean, it's weird because the people are still behind him, but I have to wonder how much longer that's going to last. If they don't start giving him something to go with. And they need to really start building him up. He needs to be a monster heel. And now I understand I keep saying that about a lot of these guys, but if you're going to give them serious runs and you're going to let them see their full potential, and Sheamus does not have has the heat, but Wyatt has the crowd. He does. And if they're gonna turn him into a serious character, if they're gonna turn him into the next Undertaker, I mean, you can't really be the next Undertaker, but you get what I'm saying there.
Oh, yeah.
If they're gonna turn him into the next Undertaker, they've got to give him some serious wins against some serious people, and maybe Ryback is the start of that. Which
Who knows?
I'm for, because although Ryback is what they like, I've never really liked him as a character. Nothing against him. Nothing against the person. The person seems like he's pretty awesome. It's just, eh.
Okay, I give you that. But we got to now do one more address of the future, and that is Mr. Daniel Bryan. Now, please give back in good shape what that arm is. But I got to tell you this much. I was talking to Pappy again about this, and I was like, Pappy, what do you think of Daniel Bryan? And he goes, what are you talking about, Daniel Bryan? I don't know who Daniel Bryan is. And he goes, yeah, I know you know who Daniel Bryan is, Pappy. And he goes, oh, that little gnome-looking thing, right? That Noam Chomsky-looking person. I'm like, yes, that's him. I was talking about him. He goes, well, if he's anything like he's doing in the last 2 years, it seems like he's fight, injury, see you later, fight, injury, see you later. So I got to agree with Pappy Snooker on this. We need to hope that Daniel Bryan could just stay in strength, because I don't need an early retirement like we did with Edge.
Yeah, and I mean his career it isn't even close to what Edge's was, but Edge was wrestling on a bad neck for a long time.
Yeah.
Real quickly, let's touch on the triple threat: Rollins, Orton, Reigns.
Mhm.
No, thank you.
Really, I'm looking. Here's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at triple threat. I'm looking at Orton doing some serious damage on Rollins, and I see Reigns coming out of nowhere with Orton, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, J&J or Kane, or you know what? I'm going to take J&J out of this because they're just a bunch of clowns at this point. But but when it comes to Kane, I have a good feeling Kane's going to come out of nowhere and deal some more damage to Rollins, but not enough where he's going to lose. And of course, Rollins comes back winning Payback.
It's too early to pull the trigger on this match, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This is just more fodder for Rollins to get over on. And if they're going to do the chicken shit champion, that's fine. They need to
Well,
go.
they gotta have to, because there's definitely no way they're not gonna lose this belt to Brock Lesnar. Because when Lesnar comes back, he's going after Rollins, nobody else.
Right. But I mean, there's no reason to kill the real estate for Reigns, who they're just now rebuilding. They should take Reigns out of this match, or they should take Orton out of this match, not both. Rollins wins, plain and simple, by hook or by crook. He wins, he gets out, he escapes, and then he goes into a singles program with Reigns. But I think this match is going to do a lot of damage to that storyline.
I clearly agree. And I have to say, as far as it goes, the overall in the last 30 days, if I had to rank the Raw matches, the SmackDown matches, the feuds, Extreme Rules, and then right after with King of the Ring, I have to say altogether we got about an 8.3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 7.5. I want to believe that we're going in a good direction. I don't think the entire creative staff is clicking with all of the talent enough to do anything with it.
Well,
But
that's where you and I differ here now, Faded Saint. As far as it goes, I think that everything looks good when it comes to, again, progression goes. They just need to amp the story arc on very specific people so that way they can, feed it up into the really good pay-per-views that are going to come out this summer.
I'll agree. I agree there because I mean they need to do something with the in the middle pay-per-views, and they need to not treat them like overblown Raws, and that's what I feel like we're
Mhm.
going to get. But with that said, that's going to be our time for this week. We'd like to thank once again Ben Sound for providing us with our theme song. If you need to hit us up, if you got any questions or you got anything you want to say to us, you can go ahead and hit us up. I am at Faded Saint on the Twitter. I am also kamisite.tumblr.com. I will have it all in the description, and you should be seeing it up right now. If you have any questions for Kane Snuka, go ahead and throw that over to me because he's over in the parts unknown. They don't get mail there.
Yeah, last time I had a mailman there, he had to retire after 2 days.
I didn't you put him in like the Taz mission? Or wait, we're not supposed to talk about that. That's a court. Never mind. I didn't say that.
Yeah,
Yep.
we don't talk about that, but we know if you ever wanted to talk to Pappy Snooker about the time where we had a dog instigate mailmanship, I'll go over that another time.
Was it a junkyard dog?
It could have been. I think it might have been a road dog, actually.
Oh God, that's the worst kind.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, we'd like to thank everyone for listening and supporting us here. We absolutely enjoy doing this. We enjoy that people will listen to our banter. Once again, I am Kami, the Faded Saint. That there
And
is Kane. Oh, well, you do your intro.
well, kiddies, it's Kane Supersize Snooker, the 24-time IWA champion, signing off for Off the Ropes.
Well,
You have a good night, everybody.
we'll see you on the next podcast.